Holy crap, we've made it through another week, and we've made it back together. Matt and Matt together again. Mad Men Movies Podcast is what you're watching and what you're listening to, and boy, have we got a show for you today. But before we get to that, Matt, I need to ask you a question straight off the top so the people can know a little something about you. And here's the question. Are you ready for this, sir?
Probably not.
Have you been prepped in any way, shape, or form for this question? Of course you haven't. I'm going to ask you.
I'm never prepped for anything on this show.
In 1989, what was the 8th ranked most rented video in the United States of America?
8th, UHF.
Oh, I love it, but it was not. It was actually Weekend at Bernie's.
Okay.
Starts now. Mad Men Movies Podcast back in your life.
First of all, I want to say something.
Sure.
I love how before we were getting started, you're like, hold on. Like we have to wait for a technical issue. And I'm like, okay, before we get started, if he has to adjust something, that I get it. I do the same thing. But no, you didn't adjust for anything technical. What did you do?
I did adjust for something technical. My insides. That's what I adjusted for.
Took a yeah.
You know what's actually funny? You half nailed the UHF thing because soon to be released, it would have been number 8. You can't say that. Doesn't matter. Trust me.
It would have been number 8.
It would have been if it would have been released at that time.
Okay. See.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I am impressed. I'll give you.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was nice. UHF, huh? That was that one with Al Franken, right? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I actually just got the 4K from Shout Factory, and man, it might be the funniest movie ever made that's not called Some Like It Hot.
You know, Shout Factory, you guys can send us any free stuff that you like. I will say all great things about you.
I've been getting so many from Shout Factory. I actually just got one this week. It was funny because about 5 months ago, I tweeted, hey, what do I have to do to get you guys to re-release Pee-wee's Playhouse? Because I missed it the first time,
right?
And they took it off of Netflix, and all of a sudden, the Blu-rays were worth like $400.
Yep.
And about 2 months ago, they said, hey, pre-orders are open, $79. Buy, and that was shipped this past week.
Excellent.
Please send us stuff, Shout Factory. Like, I genuinely dig your stuff and order from you a lot.
Yes. Criterion, I will also accept things. Arrow Video.
If you want to send me Streets of Fire on 4K, I would love that. Or, you know what? Little Big League. I'll take Little Big League.
Ooh, that would be nice. You know what I would like?
Or Twins.
A fucking special edition in 4K Prince of the City. Why can't I only get this on a crappy regular Blu-ray? I'm going to talk about that movie later in the show because I just discovered it. You know, sometimes I'm like 40 years behind and I don't know what to tell you. I got to catch up with things, but that's why I love movies because there's always something out there new and there's always something out there old that I've never seen before. But at the top, as always, we'll start with something new. Box office should be out by the time you hear this. I believe that Aliens is going to win the weekend, finally toppling Deadpool.
They're projecting $100 million.
You know what? Matt has seen the movie. I have not seen the movie. I'm not, I mean, I've watched some of these, but they aren't really my cup of tea.
And that's the difference is that I'm a huge fan of the Alien franchise. And in fact, in the last week, I've rewatched all of them.
Very nice.
And if I had never seen an Alien movie before, and if I were a teenager, this would probably be my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Because it's made incredibly well. But how would you describe the cast of the first movie? Not the youngest of people. Like,
no.
the youngest was like 29.
Yes,
and Tom Skerritt was like in his 50s.
Sure, but do they make movies like that anymore? Regardless of its aliens.
Hold on.
Okay, go for it.
Would you say that for the second movie? Yeah.
Yes.
Would you say that for the third movie? Yeah.
That was the Fincher one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that for Alien versus Predator? Yeah.
I would say that was a fun ride.
Yeah. Would you say that for Prometheus? Yeah.
Yep.
And would you say that for Alien Covenant? Yeah. When I first started watching this movie, about 20 minutes in, I went, our whole cast is like 23.
Tiny young people, yes.
And I went and watched after I watched the movie. I checked it out, and yeah, when they were making this, like the majority of them are like 22 to 24, right? And I'm like, that it feels out of place for the Alien franchise, and it feels less like you're adults relating to adults, and more like this is made for kids. And once I had that thought while watching the movie, I was thinking, wait, if they're trying to aim at kids and this is rated R, was this made for streaming? Because it really feels like a made for streaming kind of thing. And I found out today
Yes.
it was originally made for streaming, and they liked it so much they said we're going to do theatrical.
That
And
rarely happens anymore.
and it's like, click, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if you were trying to restart the franchise with younger people interested, this is how you do it, right? Because the original is almost 50 years old. You can't expect kids to go watch something that's 50 years old, right? So, yeah, everything about this felt kind of like it wasn't for me because
Interesting.
I'm so in love with the franchise that the whole time I'm like, well, this is from this and this is from this. And every time it felt like it was trying to do something new. It fell back into, well, we've seen this. And again, like, if my daughter went to go see this with her friends would absolutely love it. My daughter would enjoy it, but
You've trained her
she'd
better.
come back and she'd say, because she loves the first two. Like, Aliens is one of her favorites. And she would just say, yeah, but it's, I like Aliens better. And they did things better in that. So there's nothing wrong with it. I just think I might be the wrong person for it.
You know what? I might be the wrong person for
Anything good?
Apple movie ever. Has this guy watched
You like The Irishman. Shut up.
one that proves the rule? The Instigators came out this week. Casey Affleck, Matt Damon. I was there. I was like, you know what?
Why are you watching
Apple,
it? Because you already said you don't like anything Apple. Why are you watching it? And
because I'm trying, man. I'm trying. It's Matt Damon, Casey Affleck. I like Casey Affleck even if
did
he's
you not
an
like
asshole.
Severance?
Oh, no. No, it wasn't. No.
Wow.
Also not a movie, but no, I did not like Severance. The
But
Instigator.
you said they didn't do anything good. So
Well,
and
I didn't enjoy it, and it didn't hook me at all, and I didn't know. So still, Phil,
Is it
one
because
thing,
there wasn't a
Irishman.
hitman?
Good job, Apple. Good
is
job.
it because there wasn't a hitman and like there wasn't like some kind of crime story involved? Is that why?
The Instigators is literally a crime story. Come on, man. And I'm saying it was terrible. And why was it terrible? Because Apple doesn't care about production value, and Apple doesn't care about scripts. Only Apple cares about big name stars in their movies.
Well, do you
Put
say
on their stupid
that's-
service
oh,
that
okay.
also has trouble streaming sometimes.
You said Apple doesn't care about scripts. They only care about the names. They don't care about production quality.
Yes,
Okay,
all those things are very
what
accurate.
streaming site does?
Well, no, I mean, Criterion, does that count?
No, because they don't
are
make
streaming
anything new. I'm talking about people.
Yes,
that
they do.
produ-
Well, they're
no,
certain
not
buy
features.
movies. They don't actually
No.
make it from scratch. Okay,
Because
so
would you say? Because
thanks.
wouldn't you say the
So
same
now
thing
I'm
about
just sad
Netflix?
about the whole entire industry now. Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you for that.
Yeah, that's my point. Because it's like, well, is that any different than Max, or is that any different than Prime?
No, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't complain about it, and I'm super embarrassed that it has come to that. And also, Apple obviously is too, because they're getting out of the movie game already anyhow. But it's, it goes back to the fake fire rule, right? For me, if you're doing fake fire, it's going to look like crap, and that means your green screen stuff's going to look like crap, and that means all your background's going to look like crap, and I just can't take it. My goodness, shoot fire for 1 second, at least cut to real fire at least one moment, for goodness sakes. It looks so bad. Why do you not care? Not you. Why does Apple not care? Why does Netflix not care? I know why. It's called money. I get that.
I don't think it's the money, because it can be just as expensive to do the effects. I think honestly, it's they don't give things this is the funny thing. They don't give them the time to shoot that they used to. Even though you're taking like 3 years between seasons now.
Right.
But I think it's more of a safety on set issue.
Oh, I know exactly what it is. How about let's stop being cowards, you cowards? Light somebody on fire, for goodness sake.
Although, it is funny because like 80s TV would have people on fire like every week.
All the time.
And they're making 23 of those at 45 minutes per year. And it's kind of like, well, why could we do it then? It's like anytime I see a CG suit in a superhero movie.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, well, why does Iron Man have to have a CG suit when it worked perfectly fine in 3 RoboCop movies? Like, they look great.
Hey, I'm tired of being sad. Let's talk about fun stuff, shall we? Actually, I don't know how fun this is going to be. I'm very interested to see your take because I sent you the IndieWire's top 100 independent films of the 2000s. Now, straight off the top,
Their
IndieWire
number
has
one
bad lists
is
sometimes.
their number one is trolling, 100% trolling, and it's funny because it's a movie that I'll actually defend. I didn't like it when I first saw it. Mm-hmm. I went into the movie expecting something totally different, didn't get it, hated it, then went back after we watched it in class. My professor Drew Casper said, when I first saw this movie, I thought it was okay, and that's on my grade of bad, okay, good, great, and excellent. And he said, but I came out thinking there's something here. And he said, so I went back and I saw it again and I came out with 5 pages of notes. And I'm like, maybe I should give it another shot. And I went back and I gave it another shot and I'm like, oh, I was wrong. And now I'm a huge defender of the movie, but AI is your number one of the 2000s when you have There Will Be Blood right there. You have Old Boy right there. You have, oh, you want to go for another sci-fi movie, Children of Men, right there. And a movie that's as divisive as AI, it feels like a bit of a troll.
I am excited about watching AI again. I haven't seen it since the first time I watched it. You have talked a few times about going back and watch. So I'm looking forward to that. That it was the number one. I am going to start at the end because that's where all my favorites are. Starting out, have we talked Speed Racer on the show before? I never remember.
Kind of.
I adore that movie.
Okay, so when it came out, people didn't care for it on the whole.
This guy did. I was in the theater first day, saw it. I was like, holy crap, those colors are amazing.
Right, but it didn't do well, and it didn't get, I don't think, great reviews, and it's kind of gone through a Spider-Man 3 thing online where people who watched it when they were like 8, 9, 10, 11 are now in their 30s, and they're saying, no, this movie is the best. It's the truth. And it's like, well, it's because it's like how I used to feel about Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, right?
Go
it's
Ninja,
like, oh, this is a
go
great
Ninja,
movie.
go Ninja, go
Right.
Ninja, go.
And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, it's not. But a couple of these movies, and Speed Racer is one of them, has now become beloved when at the time it was not.
Yes, I do remember I was the only one in the theater. It was the giant theater, the Cinemark 24, I believe, whenever I watched that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's the Wachowskis. They know what they're doing. I mean, they have some duds. Don't get me wrong, but man, visually, it's always going to bring it. So I love Speed Racer. The biggest, most ridiculous, insane, absurd, silly, stupid IndieWire thing that they did, they put Michael Clayton at number 88, which is ridiculous.
Whoa. You're passing up one of my favorite movies, and it's number 99. And it's way too low on that list.
There's a lot of bumps
Battle
on
Royale.
here. There's
Battle
a lot.
Royale deserves to be at least 60. At least.
How much has that Mockingbird movie messed up the perception of Battle Royale?
It's not just Mockingbird. It's all YA fiction.
Well, okay, I blame it on that.
Maze Runner,
and also Hunger
all
Games
of
is
that.
what I mean to say. I couldn't.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
All of those owe their life
Yeah.
to that movie.
It's
Everybody's ripped it off, and it was the first time I ever saw violence in a movie and felt like really bad about it. Because I grew up watching stuff like Commando and RoboCop, where it's like, yeah, shoot the bad guys, and that's what the '80s were. It's like, we got drug dealers, let's blow their faces apart. Like that's just what the media was like at the time. But I remember watching that in college before it was released here. Someone got a Japanese bootleg. And I watched it, and I was like, this is incredible, but there was something about watching these 16, and when they give their ages when they die, there's something about watching 15, 16, 17-year-olds murdering each other where you're just no, this is terrible. This is awful. And, there's more to the movie than that, but that alone made the movie stand out to me. And the fact that none of these things would exist without it, it deserves to be much higher on the list.
Frogs would be the thing that scared me the first time. Michael Mann had a movie called Miami Vice that I had some disagreements with somebody online this week. I don't remember who the person was, but this crazy person said, Michael Mann sure knows how to do romance. And I said, wait, have you seen the 15 minutes when they go to Cuba in Miami Vice? And I did not get a response back, but I do stand by that. Michael Mann is terrible at romantic parts. I'm sorry. It's always worse. Anyhow, 96.
Can we talk about number 90 or number 89?
89, right before Michael Clayton. Yes, please. What do you have?
Casino Royale.
Oh, you can talk about it. I don't give a shit about
Like,
that.
I don't... I love it, and it was a hit that they were not expecting. Like, they were not expecting it to be that big of a hit because, you know, people hadn't really liked the last few James Bond movies. And it changed action cinema for a long time. A long time.
Sure.
Like, you wouldn't have Taken without it. Like, I believe it came after, right? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to call shenanigans like that, but I do want to ask a question about this movie. What's the difference between this and the one that Peter Sellers did?
I've actually never seen the Peter Sellers one.
Because that was like silly and stuff. Like, I know this Casino Royale wasn't silly, but was it even the same thing or no?
I think they're based on the same thing, but this was like they tried to go by the book and they tried to make this Bond specifically the way Ian Fleming described him as a blunt instrument or a blunt tool, where, you know, he is more rumble tumble, you know, not necessarily like cool gadgets all the time. But this one, you know, like that fight he has in the stairwell, you know, or when he's chasing after the guy at the very beginning, where instead of like doing parkour, he's just running through doors, you know?
Right. Yes, and you also
when he checks into the hotel and he checks in with his real name and Eva Green goes like, whoa, what are you doing? He's like, hey, he knows who I am. Like, he invited me here. He's not dumb. And that addressed an issue that I had with Bond growing up, where I'm like, this guy is not a secret agent. He tells everyone his identity. And here they explain why, and he doesn't care. Or like the whole martini. How would you like that? So he's like, does it look like I give a damn? You know, he's like, he is very much like the book here. And that's the big difference.
I'm going to tell you what. I can't trust any list that has Shaun of the Dead at 78. How about that? Huh? I made that declaration. Also, I saw Roadhouse this week.
It needs to be much higher.
Way higher. Roadhouse this week.
Where would you put Shaun of the Dead?
Shaun of the Dead would be like top 25.
I was showing it to some people who hadn't seen it, and this is shortly after it came out on DVD. And while I was watching it, I'm like, this might be like one of the 2 or 3 zombie movies where I actually care about who lives. You know? Like, I genuinely care about these characters. And besides that, it's probably the single best example of setup and payoff. Like, everything that happens in the first, like, 4 minutes of the movie, there are, like, 36 things that are mentioned and set up, and they all pay off. Even little things like, to your left, reload. You know,
yeah,
it's brilliant.
I apologize right now to our European fans. I do not talk about Michelle Hanke nearly enough on this show. That director has done some fantastic work. I don't even remember The Piano Teacher, only because sometimes that dude he gets me, and it's just like in my soul. You don't actually remember it. But this one was about a sadomasochistic relationship between a student and a teacher. Right along the lines of how sadistic that guy usually is. Have you ever seen any Michelle Hanke? Do you have a favorite of his?
No, I haven't. I'm still just kind of focused on Inglourious Bastards being down at 76, like that.
See, yeah, and again, those movies probably shouldn't even been on this list. You know, they should have some kind of qualifiers because there are so many great independent, like real, genuine independent films on here. They didn't need to put that in there. Because if you're going to do that, if you're going to put Michael Clayton at 88 or that, you know, at 70, whatever, it's useless. It's a waste of everybody's time. But, you know, kids these days don't know these things. Also, is it an inside joke that they put Inland Empire at number 69?
It feels like it. It feels like it.
I feel like
and then Royal Tenenbaums at 68. Like,
yep.
Okay, so the thing is, like, the one before that was not a big commercial kind of hit, right? But everyone, even my mom, saw Royal Tenenbaums. Like, everyone saw Royal Tenenbaums. And it feels like I don't know, like there's a whole lot of indie film you would not have without that movie specifically. And yet some of these feel they're far too low on the list. That's 68. Not cool.
But it's 67, baby. We got Bamboozled, and it's stuff like that. Well, I respect a list like this because they had balls to actually talk about that movie. Like, that was like a real paragraph about that.
Almost Famous being at 64, that's funny to me because I remember when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is the greatest movie ever made.
Saw it 5 times in the theater.
It was same here. And looking back on it now, like, something's changed about it, and I don't know what it is.
I just don't think we live that lifestyle anymore. I don't think that we have those kind of people in our lives. Just to be, as an inspirational kind of thing. And, obviously some of the messages in there were a little questionable. But, I mean, that's how it was. I mean, I'm not going to judge that movie in any way, shape, or form. I watched Dazed and Confused the other day. If I'm going to judge anything, whoo.
Yeah.
Yes,
but, like, also you have... I don't know. You have the character of Penny Lane, and I don't know if the 2000s just saturated us with that kind of character. What
do they call it? The Pixie,
Manic
Dream
Pixie
Girl?
Dream Girl.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, you got 30 seconds left on this topic. So anything else you want to hit before we go? Because I got to talk about the next thing before we get to the big topic. 30 seconds, go.
This list feels both really good and really bad at the same time.
Yes.
And, like, there's stuff on here I don't understand, and it feels like maybe they put some stuff lower because they didn't want to say, Hollywood's better. But I'm glad There Will Be Blood is in, I think it's number 6 or so.
Yeah. It at least made top 10.
I'm glad it's there, but for me, I think it might be the best American film ever made.
I can dig that. I got nothing wrong with that. Hey, let's talk about people and things and places. I want to do a little bit of comparison shopping, as it were. Let's compare actors from the old day to actors in the new day.
By the way, the one that you sent me is wrong.
You know why I picked that one out to see.
Chris Pratt is not Cary Grant. The closest thing we have to Cary Grant.
No! Whoa! Chris Pine! Chris Pine! I would never put Chris Pratt on any list that I make.
Chris Pratt.
Pine, baby, Pine. The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh. Would it be too old to say the real, like the obvious one? Oh my God! I just blanked on his name.
Mel Gibson.
No. George Clooney.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
But if we want to go younger, Chris Pine. I thought you said Pratt in the text.
Way.
Oh my God! I looked at it. I'm like, okay, now he's just trying to get me
now
riled
I'm just
up.
mess with you.
He wants a social clip where I'm like, Chris Pratt, you idiot. I've got nothing against Chris Pratt. I like Chris Pratt, but like,
he ain't no Cary Grant.
Well, because Cary Grant isn't just funny, like he's also like the smoothest person to ever be on screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, if you haven't seen My Favorite Wife, that's my favorite Cary Grant movie.
Oh, nice recommendation. You know what? I'm still a sucker. I can't help it. North by Northwest for me. Hey, who would Steve McQueen be the equivalent of now? And I have an answer, and I'm curious what yours is.
Oh, what's your answer?
Oh, my answer is Tom Hardy. I'm going to give you Tom Hardy for Steve McQueen. Masculine, quiet, can drive race cars. Tom Hardy. There you go. I mean, Steve McQueen would have done the Bike Riders. Like, he'd have been there.
Well, okay, that's why I'm thinking you're half
you
right
go Austin?
by choosing Austin.
Yeah, you're going Austin. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine with that too.
Because I think Tom Hardy has a little too much of a rough and tumble feel to him. Like, Steve McQueen never would have done Bronson.
That's true. But he wanted to pretend like he was a manly man like that.
Well,
I'm going to go a big one. This one's interesting. I have my own answer. It's not going to be a young person. I really hope that you can find a young person because I could not. But I'm going to go John Wayne.
Oh, John, there's no.
Yeah, I couldn't find anybody. I went Liam Neeson. I mean, that was to me like the longevity and the like his kind of persona.
But I don't think John Wayne could have done Schindler's List or Darkman.
No, not a chance for 100 different reasons.
Oh man. Okay, so like, what is John Wayne? He's larger than life.
Yep. American icon.
Kind of static though, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The one I would say, I don't even want to say it because I really love all of his work. Maybe Josh Brolin, but I think Josh Brolin's a lot more versatile, but I think he has that kind of machismo.
I like that. Josh Brolin, John Wayne.
But again, I think Josh Brolin has like unlimited range.
Yes.
Unlimited.
Yes.
Because I never saw John Wayne really be funny. You know? And Josh Brolin's hilarious.
Nobody else could have even got me in a theater to see a remake of Old Boy except Josh Brolin. I'm going to be honest.
Right? And I don't know about you, but that remake of True Grit, I think he's hilarious in it.
Yeah.
He's scary, but he's hilarious.
Yeah, as you say that though, where does you know what? Nope, we're going a different way because I wanted to. We'll go back to what I was thinking, but I want to ask you because this one I had no idea about. I couldn't even find an answer for Peter Falk.
Peter Falk.
Yeah, I deep cutted you there.
First
that
of
was a
all,
hard one.
I like
Yes.
that you're picking all men.
I'm going to women
Don't you
next.
hate women?
Thank you very much,
You hate
sir.
women. Matt hates women. Everyone. Matt hates women.
Yeah, I'm guilty of a lot of things. But that
Okay,
is
so
not one of
Peter
them.
Falk, smart but unassuming.
Yes. Can play Columbo, but then also can be, a second leading man.
I'm going to give you kind of a funny one,
Oh, I'm excited.
but I think he could do it.
Love it.
Charlie Day.
Okay. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I might even gone with Glenn if we're going to go in that universe. And he played the character that he did like last year or 2 years ago when he was in the financial movie, whatever that was. I thought he knocked it
Yeah.
out of the park as that character.
Yeah. Oh, wait, are you talking about Blackberry?
There you go. Yep.
Oh, man, I love Blackberry.
That was a lot of fun. Glenn was
I love Blackberry.
fantastic in that movie. Oh, he was so
He
good.
should have gotten nominated for something. He was so good.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a lady named Susan Sarandon?
Well, I mean, she has a daughter who's an actress.
Yeah. Let's not go nepotism, bro.
Sydney Sweeney.
There you go. Yep. That was also my answer.
Yeah. Was it?
This
Sydney
is
Sweeney.
fantastic. Yes, that is fantastic. Let's go even further back. This one might be a little hard one, but I got a few options maybe that I'd think about. Barbara Stanwyck.
Oh, man. Who do you have?
I got Brie Larson.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I can
spent some time
see
on
that.
I got Brie Larson.
Okay, now here's one for you.
All right. Yeah, let's go.
Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn. The answer to that.
Is it Jenna Ortega?
See, I don't have a lot of experience with her.
Or
So
Florence?
I don't.
Not Florence.
Florence Pugh?
Not her.
Good, but she should definitely be one of these ladies because Florence is. I haven't liked a lot of the stuff that she's done, but
Is she like
she's not a great actress.
like a Lauren Bacall kind?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't hate that at all. Hepburn, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, I mean, there's also an easier one, Kate Blanchett. I think she played her.
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
and she seems to have those kinds of roles in that kind of agency.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like those answers. Yep, I
Yeah.
like those answers. Sigourney Weaver.
Oh man, that's tough. Because she feels like she's 9 feet tall. Like she
Yep,
just is
exactly.
like this larger than life, imposing figure. I can't remember her name, but she was in Maxine and Tenet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can confirm. I know I like that.
Her. And of course, I think Mia Goth is the new Shelley Duvall.
I'm down with that.
Have you
co-sign with
heard
that.
Mia Goth in an interview?
Yes, I have enjoyed her.
Where she talks like this.
I know, yeah.
The first time I heard it, I was like, wait, what?
Nailed it.
Huh?
Here's a section of the show where Matt does impressions of everybody. Can I? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
By the way, I showed Ava Maxine. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh my God, this is the greatest movie. It's like, yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Good stuff. Good stuff. You know what? We're going to come back to this segment at a future date in the show.
I
love this.
want to
This
do
is a lot
more of
fun.
these were fun.
I
kind of want to go. I
Lee
kind of want to go
Marvin.
backwards. Like who was the old Johnny Knoxville?
Oh man, Now that's all I'm going to think about all day because I don't have an answer right now.